The last thing we're going to talk about today is the dative of possession. And that is when the verb sum esse, fui, forturum, as you know as the to be verb, it can appear with the dative case in something called dative of possession. So just like we have genitive that can show possession, dative can as well. And the dative of possession uses a dative case plus a form of esse, to be, in order to show ownership. And here's how it works. So instead of translating as a form of to be, am, is, are, was, were, be, being, been, the esse verb translates as to belong to. Now, if I said consuli est officium, the office belongs to, so here's our belongs to, here's the verb, the consul. The consul is going to be in dative, and there's our verb. So the office belongs to the consul. Here's another one. Discipulis fuit liber. The book belonged to, so again, belonged to, and the dative is students. So it may help you to remember that the to or the for, it goes with the dative, so that may help you a little bit. Now, foreign languages don't always translate into English smoothly, so sometimes we have to ignore the rules to make good English sense. You may also translate the dative possession backwards, and it makes the dative the subject and the form of esse translated as to have. Now, sometimes this sounds more natural in English, which is always the goal of being a good translator out of a foreign language. So instead of the office belongs to the consul, right, we can say the consul has the office. And instead of the book belonged to the students, we can say more naturally in English, the students had the book. Now, it's important to note that the verb's number, so here we have the est and the fuit here, that the verb's number, whether it's singular or plural, depends on the number of things being possessed, not on the number of things doing the possessing. So let's go ahead and look. So the singular book, see the students had the book. Book is singular, and it's possessed by the students. So the verb fuit, as we can see it here, is also singular, even when we make the dative students the subject of the sentence in English. So we say the students had the book, and normally if you look and you translate into Latin, you'd go, oh, this is plural, so the verb has to be plural, but not in this case. The verb is dependent on number of things, the number of things being possessed. All right, so let's look at this. We're going to underline the dative of possession, and then we're going to translate the sentences in both ways. So one choice is to belong to, and another choice is to have. All right, Marco erant molti amici. So let's do it first as belong to. So here's our nominative. It's a little backwards, isn't it? Here's our verb and here's our dative. So, many friends were belonging to, and then here's our dative, Marcus. Remember, we can also translate it to have. So we're going to take Marcus and flip him, so he's going to be the nominative, or he's going to be the subject. And we're going to translate it as Marcus had many friends. And the reason why you're going, but that's imperfect. That is correct. Foreign languages don't always translate into English smoothly, so sometimes we have to ignore the rules to make good English sense. You wouldn't want to use was, were in this sentence. Marcus was having many friends. It doesn't make any sense. So even though the verb is imperfect, we're going to use the past tense because technically imperfect are things that at least started in the past, right? So we're going to use the past tense that does make sense, which is had. And in the end, it's always about being a good translator. Okay, let's look at est mihi in senetu. Oh, so dative of possession. I'm going to underline it for you like I said I was. Est mihi in senetu pater. Here's our dative. Okay, we're going to do the belong to. Literally, est, there is. And if you don't know this, remember how est can be he, she, it, or they. It can also be there. We talked about there is an apple on the table. If we were going to do it with a pronoun, it would say it is an apple on the table, but that doesn't make any sense. So there is a way to translate est as well. All right, there is belonging. Here's our belong to. Belonging, here's our dative. And mihi actually means to me. There is belonging to me, a father, pater, in senatu, in the Senate. So clearly that is literally doesn't make great English sense. So let's do, there's the belonging to, let's do the belonging to up here and the had. Let's do the have one. I have, present tense, a father in the Senate. Makes much more sense, doesn't it? Yes, less awkward. Okay, last one. Ludus erit multis I venibus. So here we go. Here's the dative. Here's our nominative. Here's our verb. Let's start with the to belong to. The school, and this is in the future tense, will belong to many youths. Right? So multis unibus, that is the dative. That shows possession. Who does it belong to? It belongs to the youth or the young men. Now let's do the have. Many youths, so we're going to take the dative, take it over to the front of the sentence in English, make it the subject. Many youths will have a school. So both ways you can see how sometimes it makes better sense as belong to and better sense as one of the had or have verbs. So again, foreign languages don't always translate in English smoothly, so sometimes we have to ignore the rules to make good English sense.